Hello guys and welcome to another episode of the What You Want channel. Today it's time for a state of the collection video because a lot of things have changed. The major change in my collection has been that I've sold the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the Moonwatch. Why did I sell it? Somehow I realized that the reason for having the Speedmaster in my collection was more or less because it was the Speedmaster. And as stupid as it sounds, it was just the heritage behind it, something you can't really argue about. It has a lot of heritage history behind it. But was it actually the watch for me? In the end, I figured out it was a little bit too boring. It's not as legible as I wanted it to be, especially in low light conditions. The Hotlex crystal, even though I really suggested many of you to get the Hotlex crystal version, which I still do if you want to buy the Speedmaster. There was some kind of issue. I always had to use the poly watch to get some minor scratches out of the crystal, and the water resistance wasn't really there. It's only, I think, up to 50 meters. Of course, I mean, I really take care of my watches, but I wanted to have this like safety line. And yeah, in the end, I always wanted to have a Tudor black bay. And what I wasn't sure whether I should get a regular black bay, I mean, the one with the diving bezel. And then I thought, when I really like chronographs, maybe I get something similar but different, something that still fulfills my like preferences regarding chronographs, and on the other hand gives me this nicer, in my opinion, nicer bracelet and more solid feel of the Tudor Black Bay. And then the decision was pretty obvious, at least to me. I got the Tudor Black Bay Chrono, a watch that is a little bit, it's not the favorite watch out of the Tudor collection for many of you probably, and it can be something like a hidden champion. I mean, the Black Bay 58, the GMT, as well as the ETA-based former Black Bays, especially one with the black aluminum bezel, are really sought after. But I think this one is really a good deal. You get this movement that was more or less borrowed or bought from Breitling, which is really, really reliable. 70 hours of power reserve, vertical clutch. It's just really a whole package, this watch. I really like the bracelet. I think this is a step up from the Speedmaster, even though it's simple. Only it's polished on the sides and brushed on top, and it has this fake rivets. I don't care. I mean, the bracelet, the overall quality is good, and the clasp is very nice. Has this ceramic balls here, so it will last maybe a lifetime. It has the Shield logo, which is also on the watch face, and it has the Tudor rose on the crown. 200 meters of water resistant chronometer, 70 hours of power reserve. It's a nice package, and it especially if you're looking for the whole steel version, only with a touch of color here, you really get a very nice watch. So this is what actually came for my Speedmaster, and I'm not really missing it. The other watch many people know from my channel is my beloved SIN 903. I must admit I don't wear it very often, but somehow I would really refuse to sell it, simply because I think it's a fantastic watch with a nice history also behind it. So who knows, maybe I end up with it like the Speedmaster. No, really, I really like the dark blue dial of this STBE 903 version, the ivory handset, and somehow I think this is a legit successor of the Breitling Navy Timer. As many of you know, when Breitling went into insolvency, bankruptcy in the late 70s because of the quartz crisis. Other watch brands bought movements and cases from Breitling and produced them under their name, but with Breitling movements and everything. And this is how the story with the Sin line began, and they continued to produce it, of course, now with different movements. It's a Salida movement, which is the weak point, in my opinion, of this movement. It only powers the movement in one direction, the rotor, so it's quite loud machine, and you really can feel the vibrations. Apart from that, I got this metal bracelet by Sin, which is also similar to the Breitling one. It's a little bit shiny, but somehow it fits to the watch on leather. It's also a dream. So yeah, it's just a beautiful watch, and it will probably stay in my collection, but who knows? You probably won't believe me anymore, but we'll see which watch is coming next. So one of my latest acquisitions is this beautiful Oris. It's my first Oris, and I must admit, they really make great watches. I don't know whether the unboxing is already out when this video is uploaded. Probably yes. You really have to look at the loom shots there, because the loom is just incredible for a watch that is, in this case, over 10 years old. The loom is exceptional. It's one of the best. I think it's from the strongness factor, it's second to Seiko, at least among the watches in my collection, on par, I think, with the Tudor. I will make a loom shot battle, whatever, pretty soon. Yeah, it's a dressier piece, not that thick. Yeah, the dial is just beautiful. It has a lot of information, which I really need. Also, a thing why I opted against the Speedmaster. I really like the date on the Black Bay. And yeah, everything is just very nicely done. So I can really recommend this Oris Atelier Complication. I think it's the 7592. And then we have another, actually the oldest, or the watch I have for the longest in my collection, the Fortis Marine Master B42. It has some sentimental value because it was a watch I always wanted since I was a child. There was this shop with the astronaut and jet fighter pilot advertisement that was selling Fortis watches, and I was always impressed by the size of this watch and the legibility. And yeah, I have this on a NATO. I must admit it's not perfect on this NATO, this double layer, because it really extends here over the wrist. But yeah, it's a watch I don't wear that often. I always thought about selling it, but somehow I couldn't. I mean, probably also have similar watches in your collection which you don't wear very often, but that you're not really willing to sell. So let's come to the other side, and the other side is the Seiko side. There we have the Seiko SBD033, very nice watch, exceptional case work for a watch at this price point. Very good decision, I think, of Seiko to use a 20 millimeter bracelet. I think that is probably highly controversial, but otherwise this would have looked even bulkier because of this actually very, very big lugs. It's like a maxi case if we would talk about Rolexes. And yeah, the bezel action is nice. It's pretty precise, 120 clicks. The Loomis is of course great. You get this Marine Master 300 seconds hand, and I opted for the blue version. It looks a little bit, the contrast isn't that strong to the silver indices and the aluminum bezel. It looks, in my opinion, the black version looks cheaper. Somehow this is my impression, and the contrast isn't as harsh. So, and I like blue, so I went for this one. I'm thinking about upgrading it to a sapphire crystal and with some coating, because I'm not really impressed by this Heartlex crystal. It's I don't know. I need some AR coating on this watch because it's not. I don't know. It's not shiny enough. I can really explain it. The overall appearance of the watch face isn't as nice as, for example, on this Turtle. Even though both have a Heartlex crystal, maybe with the AR coating on the crystal, the appearance of the watch face might be a little bit might be different, but who knows? I tell you at a later point. And then we have the Saeko Turtle, the Save the Ocean version. It's the SRPD29 K1. I really like this watch. It's the rather small luck-to-luck distance, even though it's a big one with a 45 millimeter case. It's pretty wearable. The bezel action is good, way better than on the SKX, if I remember correctly. The second sense on this watch is really nice, reminds me of the one on the Speedmaster. It has this counterweight with this shark fin, which you can also find the shark fin on the 8 o'clock position. It's simply a very nice watch with a nice dial, a nice summer watch, and it wears great on a nature. And last but not least, we have my latest acquisition. I always was looking for another DLC, PVD, whatever, black-coated watch. You know, I had the Seiko Solar Chronograph of the Black Limited Edition. Sold it probably for not enough money if I look at the price today. But anyhow, this is my latest acquisition. I really wanted to have a black watch, and I'm really impressed by this monster, the SRPT29. The bracelet is exceptional. It's different from what Seiko usually makes, apart from the clasp, which is actually not that bad in my opinion. And you can see this brushed and polished parts of the bracelet really makes it very interesting, but not look cheap at all. Also, the way they integrated the bracelet to the case is very nicely done, and with the polishing here, it also looks great on a strap. Yeah, it's something different. Also, the asymmetric shape of the watch with this part protruding over the crown, and yeah, the simplicity of the dial is something I really like, and the bezel action is the best I've experienced among Seiko so far. So just listen. So 120 clicks, precise, not too easy to operate, and okay, I've clicked it a little bit too far, so second try. It centers, and with no backplay. It's if you would tell me this is a $1,500, $2,000 Euro watch, I would say, yes, it is. So maybe I'm too subjective here, but I'm really impressed. It's the best quality I got from Seiko so far, and I had no alignment issues as far as I can see it. Even the magnifier is really installed properly, and I can really recommend this watch if you're looking for a watch and don't want to spend over $400, and if you want something different, really look at the monsters. I've never thought that the monster would be a watch for me, but I tell you, my 7-inch wrist, this was just great, especially if you're wearing like red colors or something that you're not sure whether your blue watch might fit to it or other watch. You simply put on the black one and it always fits. And I really like, and this is what you have to be careful about. If you look at the pictures of this Seiko online, then you see pictures that give you the impression that everything is just plain white, the index in the numerals on the bezel, as well as the indices, but this is not the case. Only the font and numbers on the bezel are plain white, but the indices, as you can see here, are in a creamy, almost ivory color, more vintage style. I think this is really gives the watch a look that makes it look a little bit more valuable. And I think this was a good decision by Seiko, but I don't know why they actually put different pictures on the internet. So this is my watch collection so far. Many watches, 7 watches. I think, there's one place left, but I really made the decision that before the next watch comes, a different watch has to leave. I have a lot of divers. I know that I have a lot of Seikos, but I really love them. They're quite affordable and reliable. And maybe a GMT. The Tudor GMT is probably too close to the Black Bay Chrono. Maybe a Breitling, a watch brand that I really admire, and probably one of the older ones. I can imagine to get an Avenger GMT2 or a Colt GMT, maybe the white face version, who knows. In the end, I really have to thank you for supporting my channel. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up, leave some comments below. What do you think? What is in your collection? What should leave my collection? What should I add to my collection? Thank you very much for supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please give me a subscription to support my channel so I can give you new content. Hit the notification bell. See you next time.